In this video, we'll be using the special right triangles in order to help us to recall key trig values. So I know you've met that person who's like, oh, I know cosine 30, sine 45, tangent of 60, and they just know all of them, and you're like, wow, how do you remember all that? Well, you don't actually have to memorize it. Here's a trick. I'll show it to you in this video. Alright, but first we need to make sure we do remember our special right triangles. So the first special right triangle of 2 is the 30, 60, 90 triangle. So we have 30 degrees here, 60 degrees here, and a right angle here. You may recall that the sides have ratio x is the shortest side. It's across from our 30-degree angle. Our longest side, or hypotenuse, is twice that, so it's 2x. And our medium length side, across from the 60-degree angle, is x root 3. Alright, so here's the thing. We have, if I wanted to reduce this down to like a basic, the smallest version of this triangle to remember, I'm going to just stick a 1 here. That's 1x, 2x, x root 3. I'm just going to get rid of all the x's. We don't really need them. So let us actually just erase those if we can. We can't, so I'll cross them off. We don't really need those x's. So just think of this triangle as 1, 2, and root 3. I just reduced it down to a basic small triangle. So we're going to have to remember those values. For our 30, 60, 90 triangle. We're going to also have to remember the values for our 45, 45, 90 triangle. So this is 45, 45, and that's our right angle. Alright, so recall that I'm just trying to get this down to a basic triangle. So instead of using x, I'm going to just call this 1. Call that 1, and this is 1 root 2, or we can just say root 2. So that's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So the ratio of sides to our 45, 45, 90 is, again, 1, 1, and then the biggest side is root 2. Alright, so these values we do need to remember. Once we remember them, then I think you're going to be amazed at what our trig functions turn out being. Okay, so this question is asking us to use the special right triangles to find each trig function of 30, 45, and 60. I have no calculator in my hand. I will not be using a calculator, and neither should you. Later on, if you want to check to make sure if you're right, you can use a calculator, but for now, no calculators allowed, so put them away. Alright. So sine 30, so first of all, we're definitely going to need to use Sohcahtoa. So let's just stick that on the page. So we have it. Alright, so sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent. Okay, over hypotenuse. Trying to make it fit. I'm skipping some important things here, like equal signs. And tangent theta equals opposite over adjacent. Alright, so that's important to know. So 30 degrees. I'm going to start off in our first row. For 30 degrees, which of our two triangles have a 30-degree angle? Yes, the 30, 60, 90. So we know we're going to need the 30, 60, 90 triangle to figure out that 30-degree everything in that row. Alright, so 30 degrees is here, and sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So sine is equal to, for the 30 degrees, opposite, which is 1, over hypotenuse, which is 2. So sine theta is equal to 1/2. Alright, we can do the same thing for cosine theta, or cosine 30. So cosine 30 is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is root 3 over hypotenuse, which is 2. So we have here root 3 over 2. We are allowed to have a radical in our numerator, so that's fine, and we can keep going. Tangent of theta, so tangent of 30 is equal to opposite over adjacent. So we have here opposite over adjacent. So opposite is 1, adjacent is root 3. So 1 over root 3. However, that is not simplified because we are not allowed to have a root 3 in our denominator. But that's okay. We should know how to deal with that. All we have to do is multiply the bottom by root 3 so it goes away. But whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top as well. So we get root 3 over 3. Can I fit it? Root 3 over 3. There we go. All right, and now for cosecant, secant, and cotangent, I can just flip everything around. So we have at the top here, we're going to flip 1 over 2 to get here 2 over 1, or just 2. We're going to flip 2 and root 3 here, so we get 2 over root 3, but we need to simplify that. So we, again, multiply the top and the bottom by root 3, and we get 2 root 3 over 3. 2 root 3 over 3. And for cotangent, we're just going to flip our original thing we had here, 1 and root 3. So we get here, for cotangent of 30, we get root 3. So that's how we filled in cosine 30, sine 30, tan 30, all of the everything 30. Now I want you to pause the video and try them on your own. I'm going to pause the video also, and I'm going to just fill them all in, and you can check your answers. All right, good luck. Okay, cool. Welcome back. So those are the answers I got. To fill out the second row, of course, I used my 45, 45, 90 triangle, and I did the same thing. To fill in my last row, I went back to the 30, 60, 90 triangle, but this, the 60 degrees, was my theta instead. And these are the values I got. So I don't know about you, but I feel extremely super powerful when I do this, like a machine, kind of like a calculator, actually. All right, that's it for now.